The Creator is a cosmic cocktail of original science fiction, and while it's not great, it's still pretty good. Now, why doesn't it rise into the great category? Well, while pondering that, do you remember Annihilation, a sci fi flick that came out in 2018? Hold on to that thought, I'm going to draw some connections. First of all, I loved Annihilation. Its premise shared a similar intrigue with The Creator. In Annihilation, a biologist signs up for a dangerous secret expedition into a mysterious zone where the laws of nature don't apply. What made Annihilation great was how edgy and complex it was, and more importantly, how ambitious and audacious it was with its ending. No spoilers here, but if you dig sci-fi epics like me, please do check Annihilation out. Now back to The Creator. The Creator is based against the backdrop of a war between humans and AI, where a former soldier finds the secret weapon, a robot in the form of a young child. The Creator has everything going for it, an interesting premise, a stellar lead actor, and impeccable visual effects. But where it lacks is the ambition that Annihilation had. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of great new ideas, but the movie could have been so much more, especially in the second half. The script could have been more complex and the choices felt safe. Could it be that the box office failure of Annihilation influenced director Gareth Edwards? Again, this is just what I felt while watching the movie. The truth might be far from it. But I do wish the movie was a bit more darker and audacious than it actually was. Something like a Blade Runner. Despite this though, The Creator is a triumph in filmmaking. In fact, I feel The Creator is essential viewing. I have a couple of big reasons for this. Reason number one, The Creator is original storytelling. Now, this might not sound earth-shattering at first, but can you remember the highest grossing live-action movie that was not Avatar? I'm talking about original movies. Let me make it a little easier. Can you recall even one live-action original non-Avatar film in the top 20 highest grossing movies worldwide? Take your time. Stumped? You're not alone. The stats are staggering. Let me answer a few of those questions. Interstellar made close to $700 million. And yeah, that's the only live action original movie that made over $650 million in the past decade. That fact is staggering. Wrap your head around that. And if we rewind a bit, Inception flirted with $900 million. Even Oppenheimer is closing in on $1 billion. The common thread here, Christopher Nolan. But let's face it, there's only one Nolan or James Cameron. What about the others? Convincing studios to greenlight original projects, especially on the scale of The Creator, is incredibly hard. The point being that The Creator is a masterful, engaging adventure thriller from the mind of Gareth Edwards, and it needs to be supported. The reason we don't get enough of these original movies is that they mostly flop, because not enough people come out to support it. Well, then stop complaining about why the only big budget choices you have are Marvel and DC. Because, well, at least they show up, their fans show up. Which brings me to the second reason why The Creator is an achievement in filmmaking. Reason number two, the budget. $80 million. You won't believe that the movie only costs $80 million to make. And trust me when I say this movie has a grand scale. And there are tons of shots that can only be visual effects. Yet, I can't fault any of the shots. It was insane how this movie got made for so less. It again summarizes my point that I have been trying to make for years. Hollywood needs to stop over-budgeting their movies. I understand that directors need creative freedom, but The Creator shows that movies of immense scale can be made on a controlled budget. More time needs to go in the preparation of these movies rather than the reshoots. I can't imagine how long it took Gareth Edwards to make The Creator, but it must have been at least 4 years. And if a movie like this flops, it sends a signal to Hollywood to keep making franchise movies, and that will just prove the point that they are right. We won't show up for these amazing original movies. If those two reasons don't have you sprinting to the nearest theater, I don't know what will. In terms of the things that I didn't like, one is of course the safe storytelling and the fact that it could have been more ambitious. But again, this is because of the high expectations that I placed onto the movie because of the director. Another thing that could have been better was the emotional arc of the main character played by John David Washington. It was good, but I feel it could have hit more. But these are just minor complaints in what is otherwise a compelling 2.5 hours. In fact, this is a very Nolan-esque movie in all the good ways. The humor, the acting, and even John David Washington as the lead actor gave me the Tenet vibes. Alright, there's a little buzz in the air about The Creator, some saying it's a bit of a deja vu, something similar to a Blade Runner remix. I get it, it's got those similar vibes, but let me tell you, it's playing in a league of its own. Sure, it dances with similar beats. This movie serves a buffet of fresh concepts and thought-provoking dialogues, and that made me glued into the screen. I was never thinking about the movies it felt similar to. I was immersed in this experience. Gareth Edwards returns after he made Godzilla and Rogue One, both of which I liked very much, and the creator is no different. I'm going to give the creator 3.5 out of 5. This is a very good movie that must be screened on the biggest screen possible. And hey, if you've enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm on a quest for 100 subscribers by the end of this year, and your support means the world to me. Many thanks for watching.